crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I am here to share a Mother's Day card with you featuring some pressed flowers from Greetings of Grace. Greetings of Grace contacted me wanting to know if I was interested in working with their products, and when I saw the quality I thought that it would be a good relationship, and so I have some of their pressed flowers here. These are real pressed flowers. They come vacuum sealed. As part of this video, which is sponsored by Greetings of Grace, there is a coupon code for all of you and a little giveaway, so be sure to stay tuned through the whole video to find out more about that. But I wanted to start off by showing you the absolutely awesome quality of these. As any of you who've ever tried to make your own pressed flowers knows, it can take a lot of time and work and be a very finicky sort of process. So to be able to find somebody who's going to do all of that work for you and offer you flowers at a great price, to me sounds like a good idea as a crafter. Because I have bought in a lot of fake flowers over the years to use in my crafting, and it's just not for me. I find that a lot of times those kind of just sit in my drawer because they don't quite give me the level of detail that I'm looking for. And so these are truly special in that sense. Now, because they are actual flowers, they are quite delicate, and so you're going to have to be a little bit gentle with them. On their website, they have tweezers for purchase because that's one of the recommended ways of handling them. You don't want to just sort of like pinch them between your fingers or anything, as you could cause the petals to crumble. So you can see here throughout the video that I'll be using some different tools to help me pick them up. Some of the, like the leaves, if you're touching it with the stem, you don't have to be quite as delicate. But for today's card, I am going to create a Mother's Day card. I thought that would be like kind of an obvious choice with the pressed flowers, but I think you could use them on a whole variety of cards. And so before I begin, I'm just sort of playing with the idea of what these flowers could look like, the pretty arrangements you can make with them. And what I like is that when you go to greetingsofgrace.com, you can get variety packs or several of the same flower. So if you're looking to get a nice mix, they have that. You don't have to buy a bunch of different packs. You can get one pack and get what you need. Or you can buy a whole bunch of one flower to create like a bouquet or something like that. So to get started with the card, I wanted to create a watercolor background. And so I'm just scribbling on some of my Amaze-A-Pen twin tip coloring markers because they are a water-based marker and therefore will give me a watercolor effect, but give me a lot of control, give me a really vibrant color. There's a lot of different water-based markers out there. The distress markers are water-based. The Tombow markers, I believe, are water-based. However, I found the distress markers to not blend quite as well as these, so I've been pretty happy with this. And I am just going to take a little bit of water, which I've sprayed onto this plastic sheet that's over my grid mat, and I am just going to spread the color around. I chose to scribble on two different colors of blue to create a little bit of an ombre effect here, and also so that there would be some like depth to the color. It wouldn't just be like one solid color. Generally, you're going to get depth when using watercolor just because it's a little bit more difficult to get just a single wash of color. But to sort of add to that, I use the two colors. And when you're working with it, you're going to pull a lot of color up with your paintbrush. So when you have a wet paintbrush, it's going to suck some of the color up into the paintbrush. So you might want to clean your brush in between the two colors just so that you know, the darker color doesn't overpower the lighter color too much. So you see I have that napkin that I've been using to sort of like wipe some color off to get some of that color out of the brush. I am being pretty generous with the amount of water that I am using just because I have a lot of pigment on there and I want to spread it around. And once I have my general area covered, I just wanted to make the edges a little bit rougher. So I am taking the brush, and it is a flat brush. So I'm just bringing the bristles out a little bit from the edges to create some little lines. And it just creates a more messy, more interesting look on the edges rather than it being like square on the edges. So once I had a background area, I was ready to go with my flower arranging. and I have the mom sentiment spelled out with some word dyes from Paper Smooches, and I colored some watercolor paper pink with the same Amazepens, the same technique, just trying to make some pink paper to go with these pink flowers. And I'm going to wind up using 2 different packs, although I think that there's a good enough variety in this particular pink pack that you could have just used that one. But since I had so many to choose from, I tried to kind of take advantage of that. There is a nice mix of the long stems and then the single flowers, so that was nice to see. And then I have the sentiment that I know already that I want to spell out in the bottom right hand corner. So I'm thinking about how am I going to keep all of this balanced and not overwhelm any one area too much. I know it's not going to look like a bouquet because I'm going to have some flowers at the bottom of the stems, for instance, and I decided that the best way to attach this would probably be the multimedia matte from Ranger. It's just a craft glue that dries matte. I think you could use a variety of different craft glues. I think, like a tacky glue, anything that you pick up at the craft store. Even Elmer's glue might do the job, but there is a glue sold on the website, so if you're not sure if you have the glue that you would need, you might just want to pick it up from there when you pick up your flowers. But I think the multi-medium works great if you already have that. And I like to have a fine tip on my bottle so that I can get that fine line, just a little bit of glue underneath those stems, for example. I found that because the flowers are a little bit delicate, moving them around with my tweezers was a great idea, and that you had to be fairly confident of where you were sticking things down before you place them down, because if the glue dries a little bit and then you try to peel the flower up, there's definite possibility of tearing the flower. I think that given the, how beautiful they are, it's worth all of the fussing, but I know that they're definitely not going to be for everyone. So then I went to this other pink pack that I picked up. As many of you know, who've watched my videos for a long time, my mom's favorite color is pink. I'm always talking about that when I make cards for her, because a lot of times I do have a person in mind when I make cards. And so for this instance, I know it's going to go to her, and I want to make sure that I incorporate as much pink into the card as I can. But I also liked the idea of adding some interest with these leaves. And I wanted them to tuck behind the flowers. So this is where I kind of realized that I should have had my whole layout planned before I started gluing things down, because when I went to try to tuck them behind the pink flowers there at the bottom, it was really hard to pull them up without damaging them. So I just kind of know for the future that I might want to have my whole layout finished before I go and glue anything on. And to add a little bit more interest, and so that area in the top right doesn't look too plain, I'm actually going to even do a little scattering of flowers. So again, it's not really about creating something that looks natural, because flowers wouldn't just be floating down from the sky or gathered at the bottom there. It's just trying to create something that looks interesting. Once I have all of my flowers glued down, I just wanted to add a little bit more of a pop of pink. So I have these enamel dots from Queen & Company. It came as part of like a 10-color wallet, and like where every color of the rainbow was in one package, so that was pretty awesome. And I'm just going to do a little smattering of these enamel dots throughout the flower arrangement. So as mentioned before, this is a sponsored video by Greetings of Grace, and so they have generously offered a coupon code which will be in the video description below, which will get you 10% off of your order. And also, as I mentioned, I'd like to do a little giveaway because they were so generous in the amount of flowers they sent me. I thought it would be fun to send out one of my extra packs of flowers to a viewer who leaves a comment. So be sure to check out the Greetings of Grace website, pick which flowers really appeal to you, then come back, leave me a comment, let me know which ones you liked. Then I will pick a winner from one of the comments about a week after I post the video. As mentioned, check out all of the links in the video description, including the links to my social media and to my blog, so that you can stay connected with me. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button below and leave me a comment letting me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.